coming soon to this theater.
It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
What is up, people? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope you can hear me. Hope I'm. Let's see. Is the mic plugged in? Yeah, the mic is plugged in. Believe it or not, that's a mistake that I made. Oh, God. A lot of times. I think I actually made that mistake on Fraga's stream. If I recall correctly, I was like doing my spiel, and then I noticed that Preston and Fraga looked like very amused. And I suddenly realized, like, oh shit, I'm the only one who can hear myself talking right now, aren't I? And sure enough, like technical difficulties. Well, up here, maybe because I forgot to plug the damn thing in, but I hopefully remembered to plug it in this time. This is just a little surprise stream, nothing serious. I am just hanging out, chillaxing. I'm actually in the middle of eating a sweet potato, also known as a yam. I've just always been fond of them. I love these. I love avocados. Avocados are also pretty awesome. But trying to eat healthy because I got my weight down to like 258. Now, this, mind you, this is from 286, so that's good. That's great for me. So I'm just trying to hopefully knock off another couple of pounds. Because, man, once you get past 40, that's your ass. You know, it's way more difficult to take off weight. I can speak from experience. So, yesterday, Michael Bancroft very kindly allowed me to launch Six Gun Gorilla on his channel. It went smashingly, splendidly. I like to think. And wow, man, my campaign so far for the Six Gun Gorilla Omnibus is doing really well. Let me just refresh here. Almost at $3,000 already, which is good, and especially considering the fact that I didn't plan ahead when it came to the grind, you know, going from show to show, right? Setting up launch parties and all that crap. Because one of the things about working with Zoop is that you are not in charge of your own campaign page. Now, at first I thought, great, I don't have to deal with any of that shit. Please, fine. You know, the more time I have to spend on making comics, rather than dealing with crap like that or grinding and promoting, the better. But now I really don't like that, because I like being able to just go in and tinker with shit myself rather than make requests of the people at Zoop, who so far have been fine. So far I have no complaints. But yeah, we weren't exactly, you know, it's not like I can press the button myself, and they originally wanted to launch last week, um, but needed to provide a lot of stuff. I ended up having to do more work than I thought I did when I signed up for them. I thought they were going to do everything. I just had to send them the pictures. No, I had to. I had to do quite a bit of stuff. Um, but it's not like I can just automatically go in there and tinker with things. Take a look, see who backed the book already. You know, not that I'm one of those dudes. I'm not one of those dudes. Uh, if you're thinking, the ones that check and see who backed them and hold it against the people that haven't, right? Because there's a bunch of books I would love to be backing right this second, right? Frog G being one of them. I don't think I've backed the new 656 yet. Uh, um, the 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 border horror thing that they're doing. The name escapes me right now, but there's a bunch of books I would love to back. Money is tizite right now, unfortunately, so I can't back a lot of books. And man, the worst is when I've had people back the book and then they cancel, right? They uh, uh, refund, and then they send me a message saying, "Look, your book looks great. I'd love to back it, but I'm like overdrawn at the bank and shit like that." That makes me feel horrible. And in the past, I would send those people free comics just because it's just a nice thing to do, and also smart business sense. I mean, it's like, okay, that's one person I know that's going to be predisposed towards liking me, but don't start hitting me up for free comics. Go and buy my shit, god damn it, and buy, of course, other people's shit too. What up, ID? Good to see you, man. Links in the description if you feel like hopping in. If not, that's cool too. I was just gonna make this a casual stream and let's see if I could take a look at my campaign and see how it's doing. And if anybody wants to hop on just to talk some shit or to promote a book, by all means, the door is open. I do intend on doing more of these streams. What I'd really like to do is become like the Charlie Rose of CG, and like grab specific creators from CG and just have like one-on-one interviews, and not like just goof fests, but like actual like probing questions. You know, it's just to get an idea of who they are as people, because that's one of the things that you're always curious about when you're a fan of an artist. If they're a recording artist, if they're a writer, regardless of medium, filmmaker, you can't help but always wonder, what is that person like, right? What motivates them? Where what inspired their work? What made them want to make comics or films or write novels or make music in the first place? Because that stuff just always fascinates me, and it always interests me, and it usually inspires me too. And let's face it, we all use a little extra inspiration these days. Let's see if I can do this without boomerang. Yeah. Woohoo. Look at me, folks. I'm impressed by myself right now. So right now I'm at 2,861, 45 backers, and damn, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good, considering I didn't have like everything set up. But hey, I played the long game, and to tell the truth, man, I don't like I know Inky and Jason Bascom and Frog G have been busy, busy. And I did one stream yesterday, and afterwards I just felt exhausted. Because when you're doing a stream, especially if it's to promote yourself, as opposed to something casual like this, where I can just, talk, prattle on and on, I have to be on. I have to be very present. I have to be calculating with every word that comes out of my mouth. And I'm an ambivert. If you didn't know what an ambivert is, you've probably heard of extroverts, and you've probably also heard of introverts, right? But ambiverts are kind of like a little of both. Ambiverts love to be social. I love people. I can't always say that. I can't say that I always could say that, but I can honestly say right now in my life, I love people, and I love talking to folks. I like meeting new people. I love hanging out with old friends naturally. But afterwards, I'm just completely depleted, and I kind of need to kind of crawl off into my dungeon and kind of close the door and sequester myself for a while before I kind of get my wits back. But I also wanted to say a little something about a new creator who is on the scene. This is Tanner Adelman. Just learned about him. Can't even wait. Whose stream was he on earlier? I'm blanking on it right now, but this guy's book looks really kind of cool. And I was going to have him on tonight, but he just got a message and he has to work early. So I told him, whenever you want to come on again, that's totally cool. Don't worry. It's not like a missed opportunity. And I also tried to tell him I got a little teeny tiny channel. I'm just trying to get this guy's name out there and his book out there so that he can get connected to the network and start doing the rounds to the various streamers. Because, I've always believed that one of the things that is the foundation of our scene and what we do is welcoming new folks. And personally, as an established creator, as somebody with what I think 6 is it now 7 6 or 7 campaigns I think it's counting the Indiegogos and the Kickstarters, because I usually use Kickstarter as like a for second chances and that sort of a thing. Something like 5 or 6 campaigns, and I fulfilled on all of them. And I just the scene's been very kind to me. Would I love to be one of the heavy hitters, one of the guys making $250,000? Sure, right? Sign me up for that. But I grumble about making 20K, and then I see other people are really struggling just to make 3 or 4 or 5. And I feel it's the responsibility of established creators to help the people that are just coming in. What up, ID? Yo.
All right. I can't see that I'm waving at you. Now I can see that. Wait, whoa. Camera's off. Camera's on. All the pretty people are here. Both of us. How are you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. I'm okay.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. I saw you on Bancroft a little bit.
Okay.
Hours are odd here. Just like, when you're dealing worldwide, sometimes you're in Australia, sometimes it's London. Who knows what time it is, depending on where you're streaming to.
Yeah. But that's what's cool. But that's what's cool too, is that we're an international scene.
Dude, sometimes it's hard to keep up.
It is.
Yeah.
You're going to need one of those world clocks.
Yeah. This Noble Comics Presents is pretty cool, man. That guy in the middle there, he looks like somebody who used to handle the financials at my job, I always commented upon his interesting socks. But he always looked like a gumshoe back in the day. He had that 1940s. He wasn't as ugly as Bogart. He was like a more handsomer version of Bogart.
Right.
I didn't say that to his face because I'm a flaming hetero.
Right.
But in my head, I knew.
Me too.
In my head, I knew.
Hey, man, look, there's nothing wrong with telling another man that he's sexy as fuck.
We all know who we are.
Yes, exactly. I'm secure enough in my masculinity.
We don't have to say it. It's just a thing. We know it.
Yeah.
It's like when you that head nod when you say to somebody, "What's up?" You do this.
What's up? Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah. Cats even do that.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Have you ever walked into a room and have a cat do that to you? Go, something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, all the time. And it is a learned skill, because when you're an amateur, you do this. And then you're like, no, man, he ain't right. Yeah. That dude ain't right. He needs to learn. It's real simple. It's real subtle. No one else can see it. Just the two of you. Just a little thing right there. Yeah, that's all it is. And this guy here, right in the middle of this picture, with his little snub nose 38.
Yeah, man.
He knows how to do it.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And I love those old Philip Marlowe novels. Not really a big Hammett fan, but I love me some Raymond Chandler.
Man, you just threw 3 things out there that I didn't know about, but I feel like I need to search like right now. Oh, I'm in the middle of a Ken Follett novel, the one that has to do with Ross Perot trying to spring his EDS guys out of Iran.
What?
Okay. I know.
That sounds like my kind of plot, though. It sounds wacky.
Ken Follett, he's like a
I know who he is, but
right, okay.
But tell these anybody that's watching.
Okay, well, Ross Perot is the man who's responsible for giving us Bill Clinton. He siphoned votes away from George Bush when he ran for president.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that for sure. Nader, because people said that about Nader and Bush Jr. And that was bullshit.
Maybe it was, but then that one ended up in the courts because it was so tight.
Yes. So, that's why people were blaming it on Nader. But
right.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever.
Before all that happened,
they don't want a third party.
When Iran was going south, Perot's company had people. He was working on a social security system for Iran, and Iran, which honestly, when you think about it, when you pull back and look at the big picture, like, I don't know that was a good business decision, Ross Perot, to go into Iran and try to handle their entire social security system while the government is in flux from one regime to another. 2 of his guys landed in jail, and I'm in the middle of this book where, and here's the thing, I lived in Key West for a year, and when I moved down there in the mid-90s, this book was on the shelf, and I got a quarter of the way through it. And then later, after I've had kids, like decades later, I'm like, I wonder how that book ended. So I looked it up in Audible and I found it, and now I'm listening to it, and I'm halfway through it.
I mean, how many times have you bought a book and you don't read it? It ends up on your shelf, but 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, oh, hey, let me check that out. That's one of the things that's great about books.
That happened, and then it was, I believe, Anne McCaffrey, the Deeds of Paxenarian, which is one of the best trilogies I've ever read. It's a very strong female lead, of course.
High fantasy.
My sister recommended it to me.
Okay.
Read it on the subway when I was going back and forth to work twice. Listened to it once. One of my favorites. Recommended it to my son. And that so it's like the opposite. I didn't finish reading this book, but I found it on Audible, so now I'm listening to it. I read this twice, and I still like it enough to pay for it to listen to it while I'm like doing other things, mowing the lawn or whatever, put it on the speakers while you're in the shower or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I love that one. But how we got onto this subject,
I'll never know.
I'll never. I'm trying to unravel that.
My question would be, now the Atros Perot character, is it actually, do they name names, or is it just a character that's clearly a stand?
That's one of the things I remember about the book, is that they actually have pictures of the people who comprise the Prison Break team, and I don't even know if they were successful. Like, I still don't know. Like, I was not I was a child when this was going on. This happened 78, 70 to 80, somewhere in there.
Wow.
And in the entire time, right, I was like 9 or 10. For those who are doxing me, I was 9 or 10. And but that's one of the things that was intriguing about it, because I only started getting into politics. I honestly, it's like an elaborate practical joke. My older sister, 2 weeks before I moved to Key West, which is one of the most sexually alternative places in the United States.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, like I remember a line from California, that movie, spelled with a K, Brad Pitt, David Duchovny.
Yeah,
and he said if you could turn the country on its side, all the loose pieces would fall to California.
Right.
And then I appended that and said, but since you can't turn the country on its side, all the loose pieces go to Key West. I lived there for a year. I found this book at that apartment, and I never finished it. 2 weeks before I moved down there, my sister says this to me. All right, and I hope your channel doesn't get canceled for me mentioning this name. I
don't care.
My sister says to me, she goes, I've been listening to this guy, Rush Limbaugh, on AM radio. And she's 5 years older than me. I've considered her always to be like one of the smartest people I've ever met. Very well read.
Right.
Recommended all of my favorite books are, like from her. And I really got into it. And I was like, I'm this guy in Key West running an airbrush t-shirt shop with Rush Limbaugh on the stereo.
Oh God!
Like nobody's or if they're walking in, they're walking right back out. I'm like, well, why? But this is the news.
Look,
what's the big problem?
First of all, it wasn't the news. Second, I personally, I just found the guy boring. And the people
it was stuff that I didn't know, and of course it wasn't just like I was a Kiss fan where the only music I listen to is Kiss and nothing else will do.
Sure.
Or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was, thinking back on it now, to me, it's hilarious. It's a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm just gonna tell them this one thing and send them on down there. I know that it was something that she was into for a time. But because she's my older sister and I hold her in such great regard, I took it as gospel and I just listened to it for longer than
It wasn't your fault.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say like I still don't. I still pay attention, and there's other avenues and stuff like that. But every once in a while, you have to steel yourself and step back and go, all right, is it really that bad out there? Or am I just really too much in tune to all of this?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And
right.
I ask myself that all the time.
Right.
What I find is most useful is to kind of look out my window. Right. And I don't mean necessarily literally just my window. I mean, my neighborhood, my community, which I used to be very divorced and isolated from.
Literally a reality check. You have to go out and talk to a real person and find out.
Yeah, people are hurting. People are hurting badly. All of my Democrat friends have lost their minds. They don't.
Well, they're hurting HURT and they're hurting HERD.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, mind you, people to the right of me, they love to talk about Trump derangement syndrome, and make no mistake, it's a thing. It's
I
for
know,
real.
man. Because
It's
that
for real.
same chick that was like, "Hey, you should listen to Rush Limbaugh. You should listen to her now."
Oh, I bet she's a Rachel Maddow fan.
She used the word Trumpist on
Oh,
me
not
the
ultra
other day.
MAGA, not ultra MAGA.
No,
that's the
no,
new shit.
it was the one thing I gotta give her is that she's much more refined than that. She'll find a different, more nuanced way of saying things.
I mean, I never liked Trump, but I'm from New York.
Oh no, I didn't either.
Yeah, it's just
And
kind
it's
of
odd,
like,
it's
really,
weird.
like
It's like
that
you have
dude?
to make excuses, but it also refines your thinking about things. We're like, no, I don't like him as a person, but I didn't vote for fill in the blank because of who they are as a person.
Yeah.
I voted for them because of their policies and whether they can follow through. I worked with a guy who was one of the biggest a-holes personally, person to person.
Yeah.
But when you did a good job, he would let you know that you did a good job. In this weird robotic way, he made sure that you knew that he appreciated what you did. And every other time you talked to him, he was like cold as a piece of slate. And you know what I mean? Like, not the
But
kind
he was
of
authentic. But he was authentic when he would like praise your work.
right, exactly. So if somebody's telling me they're
That's
going
cool.
to do A, B, and C, and they have a track record of doing A, B, and C, then I'm going to vote for them because there's
right
a history of a follow through, and that's rare, honestly. That is, but
yeah, I mean, look, there's no way that he doesn't have mob ties. You don't, you're not in real estate and construction without having mob ties, right? That's one thing. The guy was
right.
just had a reputation as an asshole because when you're living in New York City, you if you don't work for Trump, you know somebody or know somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was always just common knowledge. A guy was an asshole.
He was an asshole, but he also, but he was a blue.
Which is why a lot of people voted for him.
He was a blue collar asshole.
Well, no,
no. When I say he was a blue collar asshole, what I mean is he didn't actually get in there, pound nails, saw wood, and drive rivets, but he did know the people that did those things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but he also inherited his business from his father and everything.
I've heard this. I have heard this. $10 million on loan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
have you ever seen somebody win $10 million from a lottery and not know how to manage money?
Oh, they'll actually very often they'll destroy themselves.
Exactly.
It ends up being like the worst thing that possibly could have happened to them, for sure.
It's a lot harder to make something out of 10 million. Like, then it's a lot harder to make that into what it is than it's a lot easier to lose it.
Trump's genius was in building his brand and building himself as a character.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's his gift. That's what he's really
for
good
all
at.
of its flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the flaws were part of the package. You want to talk about genius? It's that he leans into the things that are weird about himself.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Shouldn't we all do that?
Yes. Take your greatest.
That's one of the things I like about you, Brian. You lean into your own weirdness, and I dig that about you, dude.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. Well, look, I learned early that there was no cure for what I am. Right?
No, there isn't, and why should there be?
Exactly.
You would end up being exactly like everybody else, and what's the point of that? Dude, if everybody on the planet was exactly like you, what a boring existence that would be.
Yes. Yes.
Now, if everybody on the planet was exactly like you, and half of them was exactly like me, now that's a party.
Yes. Most definitely.
It must be said.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I go to a horror convention, it's just like, it's like, my tribe. I'm amongst my tribe. Or you go to see certain bands, right?
Yeah.
And you're like,
right.
Like these are my people, because we could disagree about a million things,
but
we're united on this love.
Yeah, you have a foundational agreement. Yeah, exactly. Nobody who is a Rush fan is going to disagree that Neil Peart is the best drummer in the world. I'm not going to say that in front of a Rush fan.
Right.
Okay.
They could be a little pretentious, just like, oh, you know who are the worst are Frank Zappa fans.
I can't do that. I don't get. I mean, I get it. I get it. I get that I'm not supposed to get it, and that's the thing that I'm supposed to get about it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but
that makes sense. I'm not supposed to get it, and that's the thing that I'm supposed to get.
I mean, I liked some of the Mothers of Invention, his original band. I thought were pretty good, but
I have advertisements in old comic books for his records.
Yes. Right, or 200 Motels. That was the
200 Motels.
Was the movie, right?
I've seen better stop motion, but still,
yes,
a yeoman's effort.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that guy was stoned.
Yes, exactly. It was a headshot movie, like a headshot
play move around. Woohoo!
Yeah. But then his music got to a point where it was like, oh, this guy's sniffing his own farts.
Yeah, right. Or whatever is coming out of that glue bottle.
Right.
Yo-Yo Ma has a good point.
Yeah.
I worked with a guy that was sorry, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not keeping an eye on the chat. What up? What up, everybody? What up, Yo-Yo Ma?
I worked with a guy that was like that too. Hardcore military minded, nitpicking hard ass. But I came to see he was one of the best to work beside. There is a guy, I don't work with him anymore. I actually, one of the things that made us have a better work relationship was that I told him, I'm like, I understand that you are the personality type that requires more patience than most. And when you say it like that, you're not letting somebody know that you're not calling them difficult. You're just calling them that they need a little bit more work. And if you're willing to do the patience, and ever since those words came out of my mouth, great relationship. I could ask him anything about what it is that I need to do. And we ended up making my work was better and his work was better. And it was more fun, because some people are like that. Sometimes it's just some people need more patience. Some people need more humor. Some people need more maturity. It's like that thing. It's this one of the reasons why I believe in the core of my being that from an elementary school level, children need to learn two things. You need to be good at chess.
Yes.
And you need to be good at poker.
Yeah.
Not because poker's not gambling. Poker is reading people.
Exactly.
They're understanding value, bluffing, bullshit, and whatever.
And chess is tactical thinking.
Exactly.
A few moves ahead.
Right.
Setting traps for your enemy.
And football is both at the same time.
Huh. That's interesting. I could never get into football because it's just I don't know.
Try it.
I had people
because it's the plays, it's the players, it's the talent. There's chess pieces lined up on every down.
Right.
And there's a hand of poker, the play, on either side. And then there's the call. That's the hike. And then there's the human achievement happening one moment to the next. And at that point, anything can happen. And that's the dice. It is really, honestly, it's poker, chess, and craps. When you think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you explain it from that point of view, I can understand why people would like that game. Personally, it always makes me go, and when
there's a lot of stoppage, man. I mean, even this last one, we just Pittsburgh played the Browns. Didn't turn out the way we wanted.
Hockey, for instance. Hockey? What? Oh my God! I went to a hockey.
Well, the same thing, but it's all fluid. Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, yeah,
right.
Damn, this is kind of fun.
Right. There's plays, but there's no stopping. Basketball, soccer, same thing. It's always moving.
Yeah, baseball.
So I would say like football is football is hockey, soccer, and hockey, soccer, and basketball for stupid people. Yeah, because it has to stop, and so we can think, and then start, and then stop, so we can think about it.
At a certain point, I start to think it starts to remind me of a bad game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Game of Dungeons. I did not know that those existed.
They can if your DM sucks, but also
my DM has always been my kid.
Oh, that's
awesome. No, I mean, it's weird because I was never allowed to play that when I was a kid, and I didn't shove it on him, or anything like that. But
he just stuck to it, huh?
He's just good at being a DM. He's funny.
Oh, that's
he's
wonderful.
Funny. Like his NPC was a drunk monk that kept getting stuck in weird places. Like Bai Kung is stuck in a hole, shoulders deep in a hole, and his legs are kicking in the air, and you have to stop everything and go get him out.
Yeah.
And I'm at the kitchen table where I used to feed him. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? I have things to kill.
You done raised your chillins up right.
I'm hoping.
But especially with the older rules, the really early editions, they were Dungeons and Dragons sprang out of wargaming.
Yeah, right.
And a bunch of guys that were probably taking some sticky icky and eating mushrooms and really into Tolkien were like, oh, you remember that chapter in Fellowship of the Ring, right? Where they're in the Mines of Moria.
Yeah.
Let's make that a game.
Well, that's a module. And Yo-Yo Ma has a good point where he says that someone pointed out to me that there's only a handful of minutes of action in the hours that a game takes. Football game is about 3 hours. How long does a game of D&D take? And if you were to actually distill it down into the amount of action, by the time 3 hours goes by in a game of D&D, we have figured out how to climb over a wall, kill a couple of things, and then people start getting tired.
Right.
It depends
3
on
hours?
who's playing. I'm like, are there grapples on the end of our rope in the bag of holding?
Right.
No? Okay, then we have to throw them over the castle wall this way because you didn't give us any hooks. Stupid stuff like that.
Right. But that's
maybe
part of
I'm
the
taking
game.
it way
That's
too
fun.
seriously.
No. That means you're playing the game.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And part of what I always the term I always liked for Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games in general is that it's people multiple people at the same time trying to tell a story, trying to create a story together.
Right. Yes. Yeah, it's improvisation.
Yes.
It's all happening, and that's the cool part. That's the fluid part. That's the hockey part.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they're all playing their own character, and sometimes you have that one character who's like, I just want to go off and do this thing.
Right.
I want to go off and collect plants because it's going to help my character. And I'm over there like, there's somebody we're supposed to rescue, and it's this way, and you're going this way. And I'm like, and the hard part is, I'm like, that's the DM, my kid. I'm like, that's his girlfriend. I'm like,
oh wow.
But you're in my house, and we need to go this way because this is where the money is.
Yeah, man.
Me, you know what I mean? Like, all right, head of the household, always thinking about money, even when it's a D&D game. You go ahead and you pick your flowers. I'm going to run off over here and try to earn some coin.
But your job as a player is to entertain each other.
Right.
That's when you're really having fun.
Right. Yeah. So I have to come up with some weird accent so that people can wonder what the hell I'm saying.
Oh, if the game is running slow, and everybody's feeling bored, or I'm starting to feel bored, I'll just throw in an NPC, so I have like a character to play too. So I'm like, oh, things are getting a little
stuffy, there you go.
Stuffy. Here's Throck the Barbarian, right?
Throck. That's your next project.
Big, Schwarzenegger-esque like barbarian.
Yeah.
And I do him, do him in an Arnold accent.
I have one of those. apps that has like a ambient sounds, battle sounds and whatever. And of course, included in all of them is the fart sound. And I get yelled at for using that too liberally.
Well, I mean, you don't think goblins and trolls fart? Yeah. They're disgusting creatures.
They're not labeled that way in the app. It just says fart. It doesn't say orc fart.
I mean, do you use it in the game though? Like, like the DM could do that. Like you hear this.
No, man, my phone is just sitting there, and they're all looking at me, going, "I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to just." Where are we right now? We're in a tavern. Okay, I'll play the tavern sounds.
That might be there.
Yeah, it's in there. Well, I mean, it's a tavern.
Yeah. Depending on the hour.
Mm-hmm.
How crowded.
But I saw you were on Bancroft's stream.
Yeah, man.
Yesterday, right?
Yep, and it went really well.
Did you get the bump?
Oh, of course, dude.
Everybody gets the bump.
Dude. Guess who coined? And I'm not like being braggadocious here or anything.
No,
like
I think you should.
It's just a fact. It's just a fact.
I would be upset if you weren't braggadocious.
Who coined the term the Bancroft bump?
I'm assuming it was you.
Yes, it was.
Oh, wait. I was looking down at my keyboard.
Yeah.
What you should have said was, who has two thumbs? And coined the term the Bancroft bump. Have you gotten credit for that?
No, but I don't. That doesn't matter.
Well, as long as
I like it every time I hear it. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's all it is. That unspoken thing. He has to let you on the show from henceforth.
Right.
Because of the Bancroft bump. Right. I'm glad I know that, because whenever I'm on his show, I'm going to ask him if he knows where that came from, and I'm going to know the answer. And you may or may not be there. And if you are there, you're going to be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, Michael's done a lot to promote indie.
He's one of my favorites, man. That dude is funny. That thing that he did about Golden Gate Time ice cream.
Yes, hysterical.
Yeah. And I know. I had to explain the whole thing to my wife when she came home with those strawberry things. The ones you used to get in the lunchroom?
Yeah.
Just yesterday, she's like, I'm feeling like something sweet. And she brings a box of those down. I'm like, let me tell you about Golden Gay Time. She's like, what's that? Oh, there's a whole political thing that you don't want to know about, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways, because I'm that kind of guy.
Do you ever find yourself doing that? That's a question that would be worth asking a lot of people in the scene. Do you find yourself explaining stuff that's going on in the scene to friends, family members, and just looking at, and getting a befuddled look?
Kind of. I've been trying to describe. I tried describing this to my sister when she was talking about comics. I mean, my first exposure to comics was from her. I used to get her old Legion of Superheroes, and I believe it was Daredevil 165. I could be wrong about that, but the one where he's fighting Bullseye in the Big Top. And I fell in love with the whole idea where you would see the pink Daredevils telegraphing where he was.
Yes.
In position.
The movement.
Where he is. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It just amazed me that somebody could just create an entire being right there on the page perfectly. You know what I mean? It's just here and then here and then here and then here. And then the entire time that I tried to learn how to draw, there's the amount of work that it takes and how clean it is and all of that stuff. It's one of the machine of man, the machine of the male and the female figure.
Right.
I just always found it so beautiful. But then there's the point where you have to sit there and go, but then I have to draw TVs and houses and cars and all of this other stuff that I don't find as attractive.
But
as
that's
the
when it's
machine.
But then that's when it's cool when you have a team, right? One of the things I've been watching that show Primal, Holy
Oh
shit.
my god, I love that. Well, yeah, the cartoon.
Holy fucking shit.
There's so much involved in this. It's not just the animation and the cartoon, but the way that it connects to you the way that a Looney Tune would. You can tell that there's a human on the other end of this thing. The writing doesn't just come through. I mean, the writing can only come through in the art because there's no script, there's no speaking. There's grunts.
It's pure visual storytelling. Like, that's one of the things that I wanted to do, especially in the first issue of Six Gun Gorilla. I wanted there to be as little dialogue and captions as possible.
That's actually really good.
Well, I mean, I want my comics to be, if you can't read or you can't read English, you could still get the story.
Yes, no, I understand. That's the basis of comic art.
Yes, and we've moved away from that. You know, with like the Brian Michael Bendis, the Talking Heads.
You know, yeah, I try to get my wife into comics by buying her a copy of Torso, which was, you know, the one.
Yeah.
Very good. One of the reasons was because she's into real crime ever since we met, and I always joke around, like, when we first got together, she had a bunch of these books about real crime and detective stories, and none of the books that she was reading did anyone get caught at all. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
so they're still out there.
Well, it not even so much that, but it was like, so are these textbooks on how to get rid of people? You're moving into my house, and you have books upon books of literally how to kill people.
Here's the thing.
And
Is she squeamish? Is she squeamish about horror movies?
No. Well, I made her watch. Well, to the thing that we're normally involved in, I made her watch The Canal the other night. And honestly, Brian, there are moments where if I got to get up out of bed and go and like piss or whatever, my sleep schedule is all weird. 2 weeks daylight, 2 weeks evening. 2 weeks daylight, 2 weeks evening.
Oof.
Like, I'm actually, I should be in bed right now.
Right.
But if the house is absolutely dark, the antagonist in that movie is still in my head. I don't leap into bed.
Right.
But I kind of take a bigger step than I should to get in there.
And
if you haven't seen it, it's kind of a low slog. It's a little ringy. It's something. It's
dude.
What are we looking at?
Dude. We're talking about, you know, you do want. I mean, you did watch Messiah of Evil.
I did. Yes.
Right.
I did. I studied.
I love that movie. So I love films that are a little rough around the edges. You know,
this is not one of those, but yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. There's a new female.
The canal isn't one of those. In fact, you remember watching that first Hellboy, the very first one?
Yeah. Saw it in the theater.
Oh,
it's the same actor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, him.
Oh yeah, dude, it's on Plex.
Yes, if you have that.
I know what I'm watching tonight.
If you have the time, I'm telling you, there's a part at the end. There's a lot of emotional moving parts because there's a little boy involved. And that's one of the things. Like, my wife was not fazed by any of the. I believe I mentioned. Actually, I still think about this when I said that unholy birth in the sewer, and I thought that I was spoiling things. But then I remember how the movie actually ends, and I was like, for my wife, that part that goes unmentioned was the thing that really got to her.
Right.
It is. I mean, it's.
I'm watching that shit tonight.
Sorry, I know. I'm doing that speechless, weird thing where I'm like trying to find the right words to describe it, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil it.
Well,
it is good. There's, you really did everything that they say about the movies that really suck, where they say you don't care about the characters.
Yes.
You do care about these people. Every single person that you come across in here, you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to her? What's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to him? What the fuck did she just say? I can't believe that came out of her mouth. Like that whole like weird soap opera stuff. It's really good.
You have to love your characters. I always emphasize that to my fellow writers, especially people that are just starting. You have to love your characters, including the villains.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in really good hands with Julius because he's making me do that thing that you were just talking about, where don't put so many words in the page when because the pictures are supposed to tell supposed to tell the story. It's not an easy thing to do.
It takes a certain amount of discipline.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've been studying writing for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, I feel like I've just recently, in the last 10 years, I've started to get to a point where my work is of professional quality. Right. Because that's always been my goal, is just to make stuff.
What do you consider? What is not professional quality?
Anything that's just not up to stuff.
Yeah, but I'm like in what aspect? Like your characters aren't defined enough, or
if it's
you're
missing
not describing
something,
action,
if it feels amateurish in any way, shape, or form. So I gave the first issue of Six Gun to a friend of mine who I know would be honest with me.
Yeah.
And potentially ruthless, right? Not for the sake of being ruthless, but just very, very frank and candid.
Right.
And so he reads it, and I'm kind of like,
is a beautiful thing.
It is, because that's how you learn.
Right.
And if you can't stand it because it hurts your fifis, it makes you run and cry.
Well, you shouldn't be doing this in the first place.
Then, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Because what are you doing? Are you just beating off? Or are you trying to create works of beauty that are going to touch people and affect them in some way, even if it's just to entertain them and get them out of their own heads for an hour, 30 minutes or something, right? Right. So, what was that?
Your first issue.
Oh, the first issue. So he comes back, and I ask him, so what did you think? And he says one word. He says, confident. And I was like,
as in a lack of?
No, confident. That he read it and was just like, oh, this is somebody that knows what they're doing.
Good.
And knows that they know what they're doing.
Right.
And I was like, really?
Do you think it's just as important as somebody who knows that they know what they're doing is just as effective as somebody who knows that they don't know what they're doing and are
that's where you start
open
learning.
and are open to advice and taking advice and following advice, where the person who doesn't need that is as effective. Go backwards. The person who does need the advice and follows it is as effective as the person who doesn't need the advice.
I would say the person who doesn't need the advice, basically, they've leveled up.
Right. But the end product.
And this is so important, and I know it's difficult for a lot of artists, and it drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They take everything so personally. And I understand it's like you're passionate about your story. Otherwise, you wouldn't be telling it. And if you're not passionate about your story, how is anybody else going to be passionate about it? Right?
Well, yes, except and I can't talk about him enough because he's been very patient and has actually I'm gonna share my monitor and I'm gonna show you the thing we were talking about this before, but since it is a thing, okay. This is the first page. Now, everything that you see on that first panel is something that I had to draw out in a book. And then I brought it into Illustrator and I made those blueprints on that monitor not only because I wanted to know the inside of the house so that I could draw it inside my head,
Right.
but I figured I could use it in that first panel, and that I was efficiently killing two birds with one stone. Okay, but the previous page, this first panel that you see there is the only time that you see that panel. This last panel of this underground basement with the steps and the bricks and whatever, okay,
is part of the map, right?
It's a real existing thing. If I was to build it, it would be there. This is the edit.
Right.
Okay. And because after I talked to, I did a private stream with my writer / editor, and I'm trying to get him to, like, I want your name on the book. At this point, we need to get a schedule going. We need to do something professional.
Yes, you do.
And I need to have you tell me, like, I want to see that. Not that he needs to be my parent or anything like that, but to be accountable to somebody.
Well, but also to be a collaborator.
Exactly.
You have to embrace that. You have to.
And I do, and I've said that before. Sometimes you're the ball, sometimes you're the wall. I bounce ideas off of him, or he'll bounce ideas off of me.
Right.
And he has respect for the concept. He's seen the script, and I've talked to you about it. But I have to be willing to say, okay, I can't expect my readers to, because I don't want them to be a mind reader.
Right.
And I see that in a lot of the excuse me, in a lot of the one-man band books,
sure.
I pick up on that. I need to know the person who's writing this a little bit more in order to understand what's going on, because they didn't have a third party come in and say, everybody else isn't going to understand this, and you need to change this so that they do. And I didn't want to be that immature, whiny, oh my God. Like, I spent a lot of time in that last panel that's gone.
Can you share that again, by the way? Because I wanted to point some shit out. And,
Let's see.
Clearly, the second version is the better version.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Okay.
Is that it? The second, you want to see the first one?
There it is. One? Yeah.
That's the second. That's the first one.
The second one. Right?
All right.
There's nothing going on in this panel. There's no action.
In which one?
In
One,
the original.
2, 3.
In the original. Now here, since we're reading an American comic book, our eye is going from left to right.
Right.
So you understand that the image that we're getting is of this young man who's moving down the hallway under some kind of duress, and then he
has hooks.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, well, if this were a film,
he has one on his balls right here, and he has one around his neck right here.
Nice.
So he's being used as a human shield.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is like a Korean martial arts movie, like The Night Comes for Us. Have you ever seen that?
No, but I want to find it. This character here with that helmet on,
Ned Kelly style, right?
He's using a what's called a manriki,
right?
Which would normally be a chain whip.
Mm-hmm.
But in his case, and you can see it here, wound around his hand,
right,
is a Kevlar strap. Because I needed it to be like a real kind of an like an armor. I needed it to be flexible, something that he could swing from. I'm telling you, this is one of the most derivative things you've ever read in your life. There's a little Iron Man, there's a little Batman, there's a little Spider-Man, but he's not as smart as Peter Parker. He's not as rich as Bruce Wayne, and he does not have the tech of Tony Stark. He's working on hot rods, and he's welding it all himself. And he's got one guy who is his little like microchip.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways,
His
we
Q.
went through this before, but
his armorer, right? Have you ever?
kinda, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a movie. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Brazilian. It's called Mirage Man. Have you ever seen that?
No, but you're making me want to pull up my IMDb.
Check that out. You're gonna want to watch that movie.
Mirage
I
Man.
guarantee. Yeah, you're gonna want to watch that.
So that I can avoid taking doing
No.
something that somebody already did.
No. If
2007.
yes. If anything, you know,
Right.
you might be inspired. Now, inspiration doesn't always have to be like, oh, I'm going to steal that and use that in my thing, but sometimes to get you thinking. Well, what if?
Well,
this
yeah, I
happened?
mean,
What if
I
you did
didn't
this? What if you
realize
did
how
that?
derivative this thing was until I thought about it for a while.
That's yeah, and there's nothing fucking wrong with that.
Well, no, I mean, even King
originality
Solomon
is
said there's nothing
overrated.
new under the sun.
Yes.
I mean, Razor Fist put it into, he practically carved it into a stone tablet.
Yeah.
Batman is the Shadow.
Yes. Was invented as a Shadow ripoff. He originally had like 245s, you know. I mean, and there were a bunch of them. There were a whole fucking bunch of them. It's just with Batman, there was something special. There was something special in the mythology. And
yes,
and there's something. So eventually, Batman did become his own character,
right?
Very distinct from the Shadow.
Right.
But in the beginning, it's a Shadow ripoff, very, very clearly, without a doubt. And a lot of artists don't even get into art. They don't even start because they want to be 100% original. They want to come with something 100% original.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Those people never create anything.
Yeah.
Everybody else. Yeah.
That's true. I mean, I've heard it said there's no such thing as an original idea, just an undiscovered way of plagiarizing someone else.
Yes. Like my big secret, and I was surprised.
Thank God there's only how many people watching?
That nobody caught on. Well, now I can
secret.
Now I can reveal the secret, but Six Gun Gorilla, you know what it really is? It's Tarzan in reverse.
Get off. No, I'm going to wrap it. I didn't get into that yet. I just got done reading like The Shadow of the Kraken, and I was going to do a review on that.
Very good.
It is. Shadow of the Kraken is good.
It is.
It does suffer from that I don't have an editor thing, but not as much as I would have if I didn't have one.
Right.
I thought that there's a little too much exposition in some of the word balloons.
Yes.
And like on the cover, I only see that one girl in white in like one panel.
Right.
But that's one of those things about that. It's one of the things that's attractive about indie comics is that
they're a little rough around the edges.
There's there's the garage band, and you can see the beauty.
Yes.
And then there's when Bob Rock gets a hold of Metallica and does the Black Album, and then everybody starts listening to them. But and I'm not a Metallica fan. I'm a Megadeth guy.
Okay.
Something's missing in the transition from garage, from Total Control, from independent, to produced.
Yes.
Something got lost. Something was added.
Right.
Something was added and it made it radio friendly. But something's just not there.
Remember Alternica? When they cut their hair. This is when grunge was really big and metal was out. Metallica,
Alternica.
The Alternica. They
I mean, when you say that,
eyeliner. And fucking what's his face? Fucking Lars is literally doing this, going.
I feel like I need to look that up. I was like grunge.
Until It Sleeps. It's actually, this is the real kick in the ass. I think it's a great song, but the video is just fucking cringeworthy. You're just like, oh my god, like I can't, like you douche. You know, like it gives me douche chills just thinking about it.
Douche chills.
Douche
Alternica.
chills.
Oh, well, all right. I get I'm on Brave. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits for Alternica music, and then the fifth one is Alter Bridge, which I can't say I hate.
mean, Alternica is my nickname for Metallica.
I thought you were talking about a bridge.
No,
like a band, like an honest to God, like
no. Alternica is like
a green Jello.
Disparaging. No, it's my or guar. No, it's like it's a pejorative term for Metallica when they went alternative.
Yeah, the wife has a special affinity for Load or Reload.
Load or Reload?
One of those records. It's the one that's got that. It's this nasty. It's actually like cow sperm and blood or something. They squish it between two glass panels and that was the album cover.
Yeah, I Metallica lost me with And Justice for All.
Way back then, huh?
Yeah. So that was the last. That was the goodbye for me. I'm like, okay, all right, I see where you guys are going. All right, and God bless you.
They
made some great music.
They didn't even start. They were not produced at that point. They were still independent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
here, check this out. Share the screen. You'll see that this is actually semen and blood.
This is probably
from a cow.
Yeah.
There was Load and there was Reload. Squished between two glass plates. There's something on there, some song that I keep referring to as midget rock.
Midget rock.
Just because there's like this weird voice at the end of it that it doesn't belong. It's
right.
Like when I listen to Megadeth, I can hear a point.
Right.
I can hear there's a purpose to the music, and
which is important.
Yeah. I mean, and the vocals are more unique than James Hetfield, and I don't know. You probably don't lose subscriptions over this.
Yeah.
What's up, James Geip? He's been here since 4 minutes ago, if my math is right.
Hey,
5 minutes ago at this point. What's up, James?
What up, James? Thank you for tuning in, brother. We're just hanging out, bullshitting. Now, this Metallica record, I'm guessing that's got to be the Alternica.
Man, I don't know what it is. It's just I have no interest in it.
Let me
a couple of tunes on Black I liked. I mean, Master of Puppets I had, and I knew that like Kill 'Em All had some Dave Mustaine on there, but
Dave Shitstained.
For whatever his past transgressions are,
right.
He claims to be Christian now.
Well, yeah. Look, I don't know him personally.
I don't know him personally either. But it seems like that band, those two guys, Ellefson and Mustaine, have gone through legal battles, and they still play together, and they're still friends. And I mean, after all those years, and I mean, that can't be an easy life. I mean, a lot of money is one thing, but I wouldn't want to be on a tour bus for 50% of my existence.
Well, fuck that. But then the thing is how much is enough, right? Like, if I didn't want to have that existence, I'd be like, gee, I've got $50 million in the bank. You know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm just gonna, my family's taken care of. I think I'm just gonna fuck off and just, do
and then go the other way. And then go the other way. What was Steely Dan? They were a studio band. They didn't start touring until way later. Like, all right, we'll finally go on the road.
Toto was all session musicians.
Yeah.
Right? Those dudes that played on like 1 billion records.
Yeah. Have you seen Hired Gun? On Amazon? It's a documentary about session musicians. Like the guy the guy that sang for Ted Nugent that everybody thought was Ted Nugent's voice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's I've watched it a couple of times. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Hired Gun, geez.
ID, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. Can you do me a solid?
You want me to take
look at
over
that
while you
picture.
pee?
Look at that picture of
Yeah.
Lars Ulrich.
I know it's him. Yeah.
Right?
And he's trying to pull his face off of his skull.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, let's get just a little taste. I'm going to get jacked for this shit.
Give it like 30 seconds.
Look how tormented he is.
Haven't we all?
It's the you know what this is? It's the angst.
That's
It's the
Napster. That's Napster.
That's yeah, fuck him. Yeah, I mean,
You remember it? Like he was a huge. I remember them
yourself,
doing
dude.
like some weird thing at the Grammys the one day about Napster. Some demonstration with him and a chainsaw running after Chris Rock, who was supposed to be downloading stuff from Napster. Is this weird, weird presentation that they did at the Grammys one year?
Wow.
I know I don't have no idea. There's no reason why I should have space in my head to remember that moment.
Yes.
But it's in there.
Yes. You realize why he's doing this, right? And why he's dressed that way? 9 Inch Nails.
Is he making fun of them or trying to be them?
No, he's trying to be them.
Yeah.
He's trying to be Trent Reznor.
Right.
Right?
Right. Well, I mean,
he's
yeah.
angsty. He's angsty. What was Trent Reznor's whole thing? And I'm definitely a.
Well, that's alternative music's whole thing. And I can't remember if it was a Motley Crue person. It had to be a Motley Crue guy because Poison wasn't smart enough to say it, and it was this. Yeah, it was their commentary on alternative rock and how depressing it is, and grunge.
Who?
And you know what I mean? And just how it's
that wasn't what. Wait, that's not what Metallica said.
No, it was not what Metallica said. I'm almost positive it had to be a glam rock guy because they were always partying, and it was this. Yeah, everybody's got problems. We just don't write songs about them all the time. You know what I mean? Like we're writing songs about the good half, the good thing.
Right. And you need both. You need both in your life. Although, I'm never been 80s fucking hair metal to me is just fucking.
It depends on what, honestly, it depends on what it is.
Goddamn Poison was never cool.
I don't like Poison. I stay away from Poison.
Horrible.
But Cinderella has got some good stuff.
Yes, they do.
And
I will begrudgingly.
I
Rat.
won't listen to maybe one or two songs from Bon Jovi just because those one or two songs are undeniable. But the now that thing is happening where I'm losing the name. That Richie Sambora CD, Stranger in This Town.
Right.
Good CD, especially if you're with the right girl.
Dude, there's a Tommy Lee song that I really like.
Don't tell me it's on that
record?
Don't tell me it's on that one that he did on his own, Never a Dull Moment. Because I listened to one song on that thing and I was like, this doesn't belong in my stereo.
I think the song is Hold Me Down.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I was like, this is great. I relate to this. I really relate to the lyrics, right? Every time I want to fly, somebody always tries to hold me down.
Yeah.
Look, I cannot like an artist, and if they do something that's dope, I'll be like, yeah, that's dope. There's a Dave Matthews Band song that I actually really like.
There might be one out there.
There might be one.
There might be that one piece of truth that connected with you.
Yes.
I'll give you this. I don't own any Motley Crue except for one record. Can you guess which one it is?
I remember the cover. I remember the cover.
What's on it?
This is like when they were heavily into Satan.
Nope.
No.
No. This is 94. All right.
Girls?
Self-titled.
Okay.
Fronted by John Corabi.
Oh,
the one
right.
that got no backing at all.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this is some of the smartest, most. It is technically good.
Yes.
It's the biggest mistake they made was calling it Motley Crue. It should have been called something else.
Right.
John Corabi's voice is as smooth as gravel, and it works. And even Nikki Sixx and Mick Mars had said that's some of the best work that they've ever done. Like years later on Facebook, they put a post. I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like, this record got me through some of the most difficult. There's a song on there called, it's track number 8, Till Death Do Us Part. And that's like the lyric, I know I've made a few mistakes and I've stepped on a tongue or two, but I'm, still alive, and it's me, myself, and I until death do us part.
Yeah. No. Those are great lyrics.
That whole record, that whole record is a truth that everybody should listen to.
I you know what? I actually will listen to that. I would listen to that.
Yeah.
I will listen to that because it's the only one without Vince Neil, isn't it?
Mm.
Because guess why I was never into Motley Crue? Guess why I was never into that?
Because Vince Neil sounds like his voice.
So bad.
His voice matches up. The Vince Neil's voice is this.
What up, Sam?
It's the snapping bubble gum sound that you hear from every what is it? From every groupie that can't wait to spread her knees. That's what it is. It's like a bug. It's like a bug lamp for those girls. What's up, Sim?
Yeah, jump in if you feel like it, dude.
Hello, James. Thumbs up from James.
Oh, what up, James? Thanks for tuning in. We're just hanging out. We're just bullshitting. Now look at poor. This is. Help me out here. This is.
This is Metallica Until It Sleeps. Unless that's somebody else.
It's not James Hetfield. It's not Lars Ulrich. It's.
Oh, that's Dorothy.
I know he's a big monster guy too.
He's a big comics guy. I know what you're talking about. We're doing that thing where we can't think of the guy's name.
He's crucified. He's crucified.
Yeah, see, this is just somebody else is in control of this. Kirk Hammett.
Right? I mean, he is nailed to the cross like fucking Ezra Miller right here. Suffering, right? And even look at James. He's all like
deer antlers.
He's in a cage. He's in a cage. He's caged, right? And then he's raging. He's raging because he's filled with angst.
Yeah. No, I know it's.
Wow. And the thing that's funny.
This is Until It Sleeps.
Yes, and it's a really good song. That's the thing that's so crazy about this. The video is cringe-worthy. Cringe fucking worthy, and I actually like the song.
No, I mean it's okay. It's I don't know. It's the thing. It's sort of like
I'm sorry.
What I don't know how to describe it. I've never been into Metallica. Even like when Black was really big, I'm like, okay, then the album cover is black.
Yeah, it smelled the glove.
Bob Rock, the same guy that produced Dr. Feelgood. He produced that Motley Crue, that self-titled one that I was just talking about.
Right.
He produced this. Bob Rock was playing bass for them while they were in between Jason Newsted and whoever the guy with the ponytails is. Wasn't he from Korn? Didn't they pick him up from?
No. They got him from Suicidal
Tendencies. Okay.
Yeah. From
that's good.
ST.
Yeah.
ST and Infectious Grooves.
I had that cassette. What? My name is Aladdin Salsipia Magic Jackson the Third.
Dude,
I'm a headliner.
To this day, I still sometimes say, this is Recalculus.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta find that. Well, the thing is, like, I can just find it on Spotify right now, not pay for it. Dude, but
you can find anything. That's one of the great things about the age that we live in. If you're a person who is curious, about any kind of art. Now you have to have that curiosity. If you're happy, just being.
I can tell my kids, you want to know what Christmas was like at my grandparents' house? Get on Spotify and look up Johnny Mathis. And that's what it was like, and look at the album art. That's the thing. It's not the same.
No.
You have to have the album art in front of you, and you have to hold it this far away from your head.
Yeah.
And you have to trip out on it. That was it Ken Kelly or Richard Corbin stuff on those Kiss album covers on Destroyer.
Yeah, it's Ken Kelly.
Yeah, oh man, it's like
Preston's a big fan of his.
All right, you didn't answer my question before when I messaged it to you in Twitter. That's still in my head. Isn't that weird?
What?
The thing that you're live. That whole
whatever.
This
is totally casual.
The shit in the bed, the Amber Heard shit in the bed thing that you were talking about before we went live on your horror show thing, where you were trying to get on with EVS, and you mentioned that name and everything went south.
Yeah.
That's weird to me, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
That's all right. It's all right. Look,
did you know that would happen?
No, of course not. Here's the thing. I will not kiss anybody's ass. As I've said, there's only one man that I kneel before, and his initials are JC. Yo.
Right. Not BC. You're JC. Right. Not before Christ.
Yeah, that's the only man I bow to.
Well, I understand that.
Here's the thing. I pride myself on my good manners. If people think that I'm stupid, if people think I'm an asshole, I'm actually okay with that. But if people think I'm rude, let me put it this way: Hannibal Lecter would never want to eat me.
Yeah, right. No, that's great.
Right? Yeah. Because it's something that's important to me.
Yeah.
Just as a man. To always be try to always be
kind. You want to be refined and civilized.
Yes.
Because if we're not civil, we don't have civilization. If we don't have civilization, then we're just cavemen.
Right. And because I didn't have any my role models growing up were guys like Peter Cushing and Gregory Peck and Jimmy Stewart. Because my brother and my father were horrible. Not
Don Rickles, then.
Not so much Don Rickles. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor for sure. He's the reason I'm a potty mouth.
Yeah, you don't want to emulate him, but I kind of thought it was the alter me.
Right.
Man, and if I could say something to somebody, Mr. Warmth.
Well, yeah, no, he was the shit. But and I love that John Landis put him in Innocent Blood. Remember that the vampire gangster movie? When Robert
the last thing I saw him in was Casino, and then after that, I thought they killed him with the phone receiver.
Oh, did they in that? I think they.
No, I mean, I thought that he it was so pathetic. I thought he died on set. Like his whole crumpling to the ground was really low and slow, and like, all right, just don't beat on Don Rickles too much.
Right.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna look it up. Innocent Blood.
Yeah, it's actually definitely worth watching. I think it's with Anne Piraud, who was in a movie called Jan de Bont's first big movie, La Femme Nikita. And she plays John like a vampire chick. And
Robert Loggia. Anthony LaPaglia. I like him. Yes. Anthony LaPaglia is one of the best things about So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Which I have never seen. But
I'll tell you, once you see So I Married an Axe Murderer, you will know where all of the characters in Austin Powers came from. Because I swear to God, he was testing all of them out in that movie.
You may be correct.
Don Rickles. Yeah.
I'm looking.
Guzman. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of heavy hitters in here.
Oh, dude.
Tom Savini, news photographer.
Oh, and our Dario Argento as the ambulance driver, and Clive Barker, I think, as a paramedic.
Wow, how many friends? Who directed this?
Sam Raimi is also in that.
John Landis has a lot of friends.
Yeah, and he loves.
Come on out for the what is it? Come on out for the minimum.
Right. Yeah.
I know
yeah.
you don't need the money, but it'll be fun, and we're getting it catered by
Right.
fill in the blank with expensive caterer.
It's like Joe Dante
Mhm.
worked on his first movie with Dick Miller, and he made a vow that he would put him in every single movie that he would make
Frank Oz.
henceforward. And
Frank Oz is the
kept his word.
pathologist.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
there it is. Sam Raimi, Dario Argento.
Yeah,
but like Frank
the Sam
Oz
Raimi
has
part.
better billing than. And when I look into all cast, Tom Savini is over Frank Oz. Frank Oz is over Sam Raimi, and right under him is Dario Argento. Yeah. I'm sure they're not like getting all pissed off on their like, whatever their billing is on IMDb.
No.
But every time I see Frank Oz, I think of two things: Miss Piggy, and What About Bob?
I always think of Grover.
He's not Muppet voice, but he directed What About Bob, and that's one of the funniest movies ever.
Oh, dude, he's had a very successful career as a director. He's like one of those guys like Ron Howard that's done a lot of high profile stuff. Oh yeah, here he is, Mr. Warmth. Starts burning.
That's so cool. Oh, now, all right, I'm hooked. Special effects.
Tell me that this doesn't sell itself.
Back up, because that's the worst scream. That's terrible. She does that whole R waving thing, and then turns around like a robot, robot.
Right, but it's supposed to be funny.
Okay. If it's supposed to be funny, then good. Then that makes it.
Well, it's kind of like John Landis in this. Like, you remember he did American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
Right? And that has a lot of comedy in it, but it also plays a lot of the horror straight, and it adds to the mythology.
I love the joke in the tavern. And Sim, I'm sorry. Right. Sim is his chats are building up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where do I take this pain of mine? Run. That looks like a typo.
Where do I take this pain of mine?
Oh, he's singing along. Okay.
But it stays right by my side. Of all albums, Metallica, except with the latest bass player, it's not as good.
No.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, you know where Jason Newsted came from.
Jason Newsted? Oh,
Jason
yeah.
Newsted.
Wasn't he from Voivod?
Flotsam and Jetsam.
Oh, that's right. And then then he was in Voivod after Metallica.
I think so. Yeah, like Flotsam and Jetsam. Quattro is one of the best records. I don't do a lot of collecting, but every once in a while I trip over some of the best shit ever.
That's so much fun.
That Motley Crue, and my favorite band is Big Wreck out of Canada. Those guys, that's like the person that knows you the best. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're two different people, so whatever.
Right.
But that's like your best friend playing music. They wrote it for you.
Right.
Like when I listen to Chris Cornell's Euphoria Morning, that's in my head. You know what I mean? Like I start checking around for cameras and microphones.
Right.
For that when I was talking to myself. That record.
And isn't it amazing that there are jackasses out there that have been with us for a long time? They never go away completely. Who think that comic books, novels, movies, metal records, horror films, that they actually cause people to kill or kill themselves. Art does not kill. It saves people's lives.
No, geez, what was it last? I did an unboxing because it was and your stuff was in it. The last unboxing I did, and I was looking at some stuff. Oh, I unboxed Fiendish, and I was looking through it, and I made that really good comment. I know I shouldn't even be on the stream right now.
And Reenie's a freaking sweetheart, man.
I'm telling you what. All right, I gotta find this thing because
very, very cool person. Like
I was on. I know
go
she's. It's that she's just ultra adorable, and I honestly mean that in like the most platonic sense possible.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah, no, she's so young. Yeah, no, it would be like kissing
Let's
my
see
sister.
if I can find
like
it.
That,
right? I found this. I was listening to a Comicsgate thing, and she was doing Fiendish, and she got to $30,000 or a level of backers.
Yeah,
and it was everybody takes a drink, but she was like really, really happy and really appreciative, and I was like, oh, that whole thing.
Yes.
And I was so taken by like everybody in the stream and her. It was like this perfect moment. And I'm like, I'm going to record that because she said some things that I don't know what they were because it was in that really high breaking glass voice thing that she does. Yeah. I'm like, what is that? What happened there? And let's see if I can find
Peace and love, Sim. Peace and love. Good seeing you, brother. And
all right, take it easy, Sim.
I'm almost at $3,000.
Oh, good. Awesome. Oh, that's great. In fact, you were talking about this with Bancroft. This is a whole other thing, I guess. The percentage is higher.
Yes.
But the
10%, yeah.
But do they actually take care of the credit card fees?
You know what? I still
did they absorb? We don't know.
Checked.
We don't know if they absorbed those yet.
Yeah. And that's my bad.
No, that's okay. I'm not. You don't have to do homework for me.
Right. And,
now,
hey, it's me putting my nuts on the line here, so nobody else.
Well, I mean, you have to do something.
Yeah, and
that's it.
I figured that one more platform.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's all right, brother.
Did you hear that just now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have no idea what it was. So if it was,
that's that video that I was looking for.
Oh, like her voice.
Yeah,
voice.
Yeah.
You can send me the link and I'll put that shit on.
I mean, it's on.
I can share your screen.
It's on my thing. I'll try to share it. I just want to make sure it's a thing where, because I slowed it down so that you could actually hear what she was saying.
Oh, so you're saying she said so fast that it was like dolphin speak.
Yes. Yeah, I'll share. It's so stupid. It's cool. Yes. It's basically what it is. Okay, well, so
it's a really humorous expression of joy, right?
Oh my god! Yeah, exactly. And you're all of our buddies are there.
Yes. Okay. And that means, man, that's.
I haven't actually put this anywhere else. I sent it to her. I DM'd it to her because I thought, if you feel like using this anywhere, like she seemed mature enough where she'd be like, oh, you know what? I am like that. That's funny.
Yes.
But Shane says something at the very end. Everybody says something about how her voice sounds. I'm like, I gotta clip this. This is hilarious.
Most definitely.
Turn the subtitles on.
What?
Exactly. I did this.
Is there a whale in here somewhere?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That part at the end just kills me.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Turn nuts up. I love that. It's like turn the subtitles on.
Did you send that to her?
Yeah, I sent it to her.
She needs to see. Yeah, no, that's a fucking classic.
I know that was. I'm like, I can't believe nobody else bothered to clip this.
Oh my god!
But that's the thing. It's like a mature individual is going to look at that and go, you know what, that is hilarious, and be able to like laugh at themselves. I can't stand people who can't do that. And admittedly, sometimes that's me. You know, like if I do something stupid that's silly, and then I can laugh at myself. But if I'm caught in the middle of a rainstorm and I'm trying to, get back to civilization and I slip and fall, I do not want to be laughed at for that. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm in the middle of trying to stay alive. Why are you laughing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that was the nicest little slice of joy. Her reaction to the whole thing, like that was she was not in. She had not really experienced the depths of Comicsgate, and what indie, I shouldn't say Comicsgate, but what indie comics was capable of, and in that arena with those heavy hitters, I don't even know what her work is, and like I'll be honest, I don't know anything about John Malin's work, Ethan's work, Dale's work. I do know because I had to paint it on T-shirts. I never collected it. It just, I was painting T-shirts in the 90s. The Max is something that we had to do on a bunch of stuff.
Oh, wow.
And it was just because that's what, like when you're painting airbrush T-shirts, you're always doing like the current thing, literally. And it's this fast food art. You're just doing boyfriends and girlfriends' names on a beach scene with two hearts or whatever.
So
and then every once in a while, you're doing a Batman.
So no Frazetta. Like in the 70s, you saw a lot of Frazetta on banners.
Right.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to, but a funny story that I had a jean jacket because I was like really into just trying to be the best airbrush artist I could. Right. I got a jean jacket, and I spent so much time putting this right in that panel that goes on the back. Was it this spider? What is it? Right there on the back of this jean jacket. Okay. Oh, wow. And all around it, I tried putting some like Celtic knotwork and stuff like that.
Right.
I spent a couple of days on it in between like doing my normal work and the one day, and then I put it on. Oh, did you? Oh, that's awesome. Is he still here?
Yeah, well, he's like having a smoke.
I thought he was leaving. Oh, I thought he meant like when he leaves.
It was just going to follow on his phone. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You know, like Rini has one of those personalities. It seems like even though like you can only know her from being on stream.
Yeah. That
you immediately want to build a brick wall around her so that nobody can hurt her.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
yes, that. I know, dude. I know exactly what you mean. When I first met her,
yeah,
it was around the same time that that Simfirst spoke to her. And I remember being on a stream, very vaguely, but I remember afterwards being like, "Yo." You have mad crazy talent, right? That's the first thing, mad crazy talent.
Right.
But you're also young and pretty. Yeah. You're going to be a rock
and
star.
Pure, and that's one of the things. That's what you want to preserve. Well, you would hope at least that's the way that she comes across as like a pure soul,
authentic.
Authentic. Yeah.
One of the
like that jean jacket that I was painting. It was pure. It was young. It was less than an hour old before I sat down on the park bench to eat my lunch, and I felt a bird shit on it. I spent days on this thing with this elaborate design piece on the back and whatever, and I had this nice turkey sub. Sat down underneath the tree. I'm at Cedar Point. I'm in like an amusement park. It's a nice summer day. I'm taking this thing out. It's like leaving the parking lot of a car dealership with your fill in the blank new car, and the first thing that happens is fender bender. And the only person responsible for it is like God, because even though it didn't, like, he didn't make it happen, he made the bird that made it happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, put down my sandwich, take the thing off. I'm like, swipe it. Because I was feeling very proud of myself. It was I felt like I did. I had an ego about me, and God threw one of those little sparrows that he should not let fall out of a nest.
Yeah.
Put me
To
in my
help you.
place. Put me in my place. Right.
Yes. For your own good.
Yeah, exactly.
For your own, to the betterment of yourself.
Right.
It's something to be grateful for.
Right.
Like that's
a delicate sparrow, like Rini. No, we can't let anybody hurt her.
No, definitely not.
She's under protection.
She's special, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But the thing I always say about humble pie is that it's bitter, but it's nutritious. It's good for you.
That's bittersweet. I wouldn't say it's bittersweet. If it was sweet, you would want to eat more of it.
It sucks because also it it forces you to reevaluate yourself, and maybe you take a look at yourself and you don't like what you see, but then you vow to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was growth. There's a lot of growth. Yeah.
That's what
I love.
Right?
By one of my favorite family members, my Aunt Cookie, was like, sometimes a tough love, and all of the bosses that I've ever had who had and it's not easy to do this to another person, but to just grab them by the lapels, put them up against the wall and go, you're missing it, and I'm trying to get your attention like this one, because I don't have time to go into nuance, and I care enough about you to let you know that you're going to destroy yourself if you don't just calm the fuck down. I was trying to learn how to airbrush.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a smoker.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to figure out one of the most complicated pieces of art equipment on a Nick Fit when in the middle of the summer, it's humid. You have no idea what's going on, and there's a bunch of people around you going, why is he scribbling all over that t-shirt?
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Gotta have it is not about the color of your skin. It's about how thick it is. I'll tell you.
Yes, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
So what's going on with the omnibus right here? Because I feel like I have everything that's in this book.
All right.
It's just not in this.
If you have issues 1 through 8, this is going to collect those and add brand new issues 9 and 10.
This has 9 and 10 in it.
Yes, because a lot of people didn't back my last 2 campaigns because they and people told me this. They're like, I'll wait for the next trade paperback.
I heard you say that. Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
so you're giving the public what they want.
Yeah, I mean, part of me is like, motherfuckers, if you don't back this campaign, there's not going to be another trade paperback. There's not going to be a 9 and an 8 and a 9 and a 10.
Right.
So I couldn't run a campaign for the 9th issue, the 10th issue. And so what this is going to be issues 1 through 8 plus 9 through 10. So this is going to be the entire Long Days of Vengeance arc in 1 volume.
Do you have this
with a cover gallery and other shit?
Do you have this on the YouTube side?
On the YouTubes?
Do you have the link to this? Do you have the link to this campaign on the YouTube side?
Let me see.
If I can find it.
Yeah, I mean, I usually don't like to promote my own shit on streams, but
I want to be able to
I need to start doing that.
Is it the Indiegogo project?
Oh man, you know what felt great? What felt great the other day was Rini had the Frog G crew on, and then I went on Bancroft's at 9 after hanging out there for a half an hour, and thank goodness, I had the presence of mind to say before we cut out, like, yo, Rini's streaming right now, and the Frog G guys are on there. Channel raid.
Is that that's the thing where like everybody goes over there, or
and then like pops up in the chat and represents.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that got them more sales or whatever, but you know, we all have to be down for each other, and I love those dudes, and I love what they're doing, and you know, and look, Jason's is an amazing talent, but he's sort of like a recognized talent. Inky is like
who are you talking about right now? People working on your book?
No, the people working on the Frog G book.
Okay.
Because what am I doing? Once again, I'm talking about somebody else's book, so I don't have to talk about my own shit because it makes me feel arrogant.
Yeah, you know what? No, I really understand where you're coming from. In fact, this tab has been hanging out here for like forever. I don't know a lot about promoting online except for what I've learned from people. I've seen people build up YouTube channels on things like true crime or real crime.
Yeah.
I found one channel because that thing that was going on with Frosk and G4 like months ago.
Yeah.
Not the recent stuff, but like months ago.
Yeah.
I heard people talking about it, and I just started doing a YouTube search, and I found this one channel, and he was just starting out, and it's blown up, and he's really making, and the people that are following him he's taking people with him, and they're starting their own channels. Good. So I'm getting this like, you know, how to promote your channel and do YouTube 101
right
from watching him, but I still suffer from the thing that you are, which is what's the difference between self-promotion and hubris?
Right.
And I would say, I don't know if it was Oscar Wilde or Babe Ruth that said, it's not bragging if you can do it.
That was Babe Ruth.
Was it Babe Ruth? Okay.
Well,
and so.
Well, here's what I do. When I'm at a convention or something and I need to get my hustle on, I talk about the artist. And I hype the artist. And I found that's really effective. So people have praised my writing. I'm so grateful for that, man. Like
if you can get other people to do it, that's great. But there's nothing wrong with you doing it yourself. And it's an odd thing. It's like
it just
I kind of do this thing. I hope you like it and stuff. But
right, like I don't feel comfortable going me. But I do feel comfortable having like somebody like on my shoulders and go them.
Well, yeah, because
what's up?
I mean, it makes you feel good.
I was going to say,
it does.
What you're talking about is the difference between arrogance, right?
And confidence. Yeah.
The difference is you're arrogant when you can't back it up. When you're backing up, you're just confident.
Yeah,
the other thing is just the way. It's just the way of being about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I could never see myself
but you can be an asshole about it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what it is? It's like there before the grace of God go I. When you see people make asses out of themselves, like the professional wrestlers call it marking yourself. That's what they call it when like a wrestler starts to like believe in their own bullshit starts to believe their own hype. Marking yourself. That's what they call it. I don't want to mark myself. I would never want to mark myself because you don't want to be that motherfucker.
No, but because
they're clowns.
I think like mature people don't do that, or they realize that might be happening. So there'll be a caveat in every pitch. You know what I mean? The thing that you're doing, like you do good work. I mean, you've got 10 issues of this thing.
People seem to think so.
You've got 10 issues of this thing going.
Yes.
And you've also slogged your way through how many different like Zoop, Indiegogo, and did you get on Kickstarter?
I did 2 Kickstarters, I think.
Okay.
Maybe three, because that was also a case of me just wanting to do an experiment, which was, I was like, okay, because I always wondered, it's just like, okay, who is seeing us? Who's seeing us? That's to say, who is going to be just browsing and coming across our shit without a direct link to it, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll put my book up there and I'm going to do zero promotion and just find out. And I made like $3,000. So I was like, oh, okay. First of all, $3,000.
Well,
nice,
was it
nice,
Was it a wash? Was it a wash as far as production costs versus what you made, or
no, not at all?
Okay, great, good for you.
Not at all. But it was an experiment to see like what that difference was. Yeah. Now you have people like my friend Matt Burke who are doing campaigns on Kickstarter specifically to avoid having some dudes in Hong Kong, or maybe it's the People's Republic of China, but it's somewhere in China.
Yeah,
jacking their IPs and running
China.
campaigns.
No, I thought they were doing that on Kickstarter.
It's not just China.
Do we have other?
Yeah, the one from the ones that were doing the Vinny one was not in China.
So you think it may have been fuckery?
I think that one was in Russia or something.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but you can change IPs, right? Not IPs. I mean, you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, so because the thing is, at first when that started happening, rightfully people were thinking like, is this some kind of like gay op, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out no, it's just some scam artists that just do this just to get free money, I guess. So he put his campaign on there specifically for that reason, and I think that's fine too. It's just weird to me that there are people that are just like, man, fuck Kickstarter. I'm like Indiegogo is our friend? Since when? They could disappear us in a fucking heartbeat. Right?
Yeah. My campaign and my funds got suspended because at the end they found a little 5-second, not even 5-second clip of like the butt of Lawani in the YouTube video.
That was a gay op for sure.
Yeah, nobody at Kickstarter or any platform has the time to go in and search for that needle in a haystack.
No, definitely not.
But I don't understand how it is that one. Well, I mean, I guess I'm giving them too much credit for like they're rationally thinking human being would look at that and go, okay, and how many people besides you care about this?
Yes,
just you. Okay.
Yes.
We're just going to go ahead and keep making money off this guy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that would be my email. Who is caring about this besides this one person?
Right.
Do you really think they're going to be bringing a lawsuit against you? You know, like that, whatever. The one thing that I can give you that they can't is profit. Yeah. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just their.
Well, the thing
I honestly don't get it. I'm dealing with some of that stuff like where I work right now, and
yeah, but you know that when they do that stuff, it's not just one person. They usually do that in multiple.
Oh yeah. It's a whole operation.
Yeah, right.
Guys,
them and their little bicycle club.
I'm just gonna run real quick and get a refill because I'm cotton mouthing it bad.
I'm cotton mouthing a little bit myself. I'm only gonna be good for like another 10 minutes at the best.
All right, man.
All right. Be right back.
Well, hello, chat. Don't forget to go back this book.
Man,
getting close to 3,000.
Yeah, he is. Why does this not feel right? No, my headphones. Something doesn't feel right about these headphones. Like, there it is. Yep. Like something's not. Oh, okay. One of the wires was getting stuck under the hinge. The one ear pad was kind of crooked against the side of my head. I don't know what it is. I've been having issues. Like I got a nice battery case for my iPhone. Okay. See, and you can probably tell. See how thick that is?
Yeah.
Okay, and then my dumb ass, I'm like, I need a phone holder for my, like, in my car. You know, one of those ones with like the plunger on it, and it's like real big and robust and whatever. Do you think that the arms that are supposed to reach out and grab around this thing are anywhere near as deep as the? Look at the size of that battery. You can see against my big forehead. See how?
I don't think it's a one size fit all.
No, it's not. It barely holds on to it. I'm like, all right, we'll try it out. We'll go over the rough roads of Pennsylvania and see if this thing stays in the cradle. Yeah, so I have to go. I would have to go over in this like big pile over there to find them, but
to find what?
I had backed Brian's stuff. But I think I got issues 1 through 8. So he had the 1 through 6 book, and I think I got books of a 7th issue and an 8th issue. And I'm not faulting him for this at all. But then this thing comes out here, and it's like all of it, all at once. In fact, I gotta go see if it's.
Yeah, me, I'm up to date. I have the trade paperback, and I have I think issue 7 and 8. I think.
No, it's gonna be
right. It's.
Well, you need the omnibus too.
Not read yet.
No, I mean, no. I am going to be all. Well, one of the things I definitely want to do is
Okay.
I never want to double dip.
Okay.
Right. So if anybody who
Here it
has any of like the previous issues, or if you have the trade paperback, whatever, I'm going to make sure that we got you, because, like, you know, I mean, I felt like even just doing one variant cover felt shady to me.
No, man, you give them what they want until they choke on it. That's what my my one pinstripe.
Yeah, I would have made the 2 floppies available there too if you're planning on making them.
Yeah.
Right.
It would sell for the people that just want that.
Yeah.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
There it is.
Okay, so I got this from you, right?
Well, all right.
And then you sent.
Oh, with the Vinny cover, yeah.
Right, exactly. And I believe this is issues 1 through 6.
Yep.
Right. And as I was going through this, I saw that you had like different naming conventions for each book. There was like chapter 1, chapter 2, and then you started naming like the next chapter. And then so this was number 8.
Yes.
So I could only assume that this was number 7.
Yep.
Okay, so I have 1 through 7.
down.
So I have 1 through 7.
Oh no, you have 1 through 8.
I'm sorry, yeah, I have 1 through 8.
Yeah.
Same
There's
here.
like
Right. And then that book that you have there is
1 through 10.
1 through 10.
1 through 10. But
So
also, it's not like, okay, then you buy the fucking the omnibus and you're getting story and comic that you already have. I wouldn't do you like that.
No, I'm not
No.
even complaining. I just think it's funny.
Right. Well, you know,
Because that's just how shit goes. Like I was saying before, you pull out of the parking lot. Once you pull out of the parking lot of the body shop, only to get a fender bender.
yes.
The thing is, we all aim to have a big collected edition eventually, dude. So it's kind of like
we want to be on bookstore shelves.
you're trying to get the 2 final
No, I
issues
was going
done
to
with
buy
this.
the omnibus, and then I'm going to sell these to some sucker on eBay.
There you go.
Right.
I'm sorry, Sim.
I don't mean. Did I say that out loud?
Yes.
Shit.
And that's totally cool. You know. You know, if you can make some scratch off of like me scribbling.
I might. No, I'm going to get into a whole bunch of like CG drama, figure out who it is that I'm supposed to hate, and make money off of the stuff that I bought. That I backed earlier.
The rabbit hole goes deep.
Yeah,
Deep.
I'm going to do that. I'm like, all right, you're no good anymore. And then once we're cool, I'm going to be like, I can't believe I sold that shit. It'll be like whenever you're talking to somebody about firearms. Right. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard this? I used to own that gun and I sold it, and it's the best decision I ever made. They never say that. Or like with a hot rod. I used to have one of those 52s. I used to have one of those like 37 full-bodied whatever Model T, blah, blah, blah. And I sold it, and it's the best decision I ever made. They're always regret. I can't believe I sold that.
There's You're absolutely right about that. But here's the thing:
Yeah.
some people are collectors, and some people are just readers.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I want.
I'm not a collector. Like Preston is a collector. He's the kind of guy that'll be like, "You got that?" when you tell him, like, yeah.
If I'm honest with myself, I'm if I'm a collector, I'm reluctantly a collector.
Right, because
I would say there's a difference between collector and completist.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah. I have some empty holes that I'm always trying to fill them out, but I still have Generation X stuff that I need to read.
Dude, I would much rather have a trade paperback that I could just take off the shelf, rather than have to fucking flip through fucking long boxes.
Yeah, people with property own long boxes. People with small yards like mine, they own trade paperbacks.
Okay.
Small yards, small houses, not a lot of space. You got to be efficient about that stuff.
But I also understand the appeal.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. Some people
do I need to?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
There you go.
You want? Yeah. I mean, that's what I like. See.
Yep.
You look like my buddy Cool Frog. You guys, you look almost exactly like my buddy Cool Frog.
He is a sexy French Canadian.
Oh, is that what you are? French Canadian?
Yeah.
How far French?
What do you mean how far French?
Yeah.
Like how is it? Is it Quebec?
Hold on, I'm having trouble placing the camera. Yeah, I'm in Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah, I'm in Quebec, Montreal.
And my favorite band is from Canada, but from everything that I understand, this Quebec is a different country as far as you're concerned. As far as when I say like you people, and when I say you people, I don't mean it like you Jews.
There's There's a movie. There's a movie called Good Cop, Bon Cop.
Good Cop, Bad Cop.
There it is, and it's about that divide, right? Where you have Colm Meaney plays
Colm Meaney from Scotland, Ireland.
Yes, and he plays like a Canadian cop, and then there's this other guy that plays the Quebecois cop. And it deals a little bit with that clash of cultures that's within a culture. Right? And it's not a great movie. I'm not saying, oh, you got to go run and see that. But it's one of those, it's its own thing, you know? Canada
I like that scene in Canadian Bacon where Dan Aykroyd pulls those guys over in the truck that have Canadian sucks or whatever on the side of their truck, and he makes them write it in French as well. You know, like it's like that thing in The Life of Brian where the Roman centurion corrects there's doing graffiti on the side of the wall. He corrects his Latin.
You misspelled it, motherfucker.
Right. He corrects his Latin, this guy's now, and he's spelling out for him, and it's like this. And like this.
There's a scene where like they really pretty much touch every little, fighting points or anything, like every little differences or little, they pick at everything. But one of the funny things is like there's a moment where they're both like arresting somebody, so they're freaking putting him in a suitcase, not a suitcase. Fuck,
like a paddy wagon.
No, the car, the back of a fucking car. Right now, I can't find the trunk. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm having the French word in my head for some reason.
The bassinet.
The valise.
No, that's the bonnet.
Anyways.
Bonnet. Thank you.
Yeah.
So they put him in the trunk, right? And he keeps blocking the thing, and he gets pissed at him, and he says "tabarnak," and he goes. The English guy is like, what does that mean? Well, it's actually like a slang word, but you can also use it as a verb, like "ma tabarnak une." And he goes, you can also use it as an adjective, "mon tabarnak." And dude, while he's fucking hitting him, trying to close the freaking door every fucking time.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Go check that movie out. I do remember it being pretty entertaining.
It's hilarious, but you're not going to see it because you're going to see it's like imagine when you watch like the Lethal Weapon, right?
Yeah.
It's a buddy cop movie, but they're trying to put like Rush Hour. Technically, it's more like Rush Hour, but with French and English.
Oh, so not
Culture
Chinese,
clash.
And it's not French from France. It's French from Canada, so it's more Americanized. Yeah. So
totally different. Yeah, very much their own people.
And the actor that plays the French cop is actually a stand-up comic.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, but he does comedy and he does stand up comedy.
No shit. I didn't know that. Because he looked pretty buff to me. You know?
Yeah.
Could throw down in like the fight scenes and shit.
I got too much stuff to watch and read.
You've seen what we look here? We're not tiny people.
No.
No, well, not from that angle.
No, well, not from that part of the world either.
Oh,
I would think that the
I'm not a tiny person either.
I'm 5'8". I don't hide it.
Yeah.
But you know,
I'm 5'9.5". I just found out.
See what I mean?
I used to be 5'11".
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you're a dwarf. Like I said, you come from like a planet with like really dense gravity.
So,
right? You may not be tall, but you're like wide. Because
Canada is 10% the population of the United States. If we have like 34, 37 million, you would have 34, 37. No, if we have 34 or 370 million, you would have 37 million.
It's kind of like Australia in the sense that there are vast areas that are unpopulated.
I know. I've gone on like Google Earth and thought like
Siberia, pretty much.
Like zoom in. Okay, there's water. There's a river here. Where's the smallest town? And just like I want to live there. This little tiny place where there's like nobody. That's the part. It's always in
I can see the appeal of that now.
Saskatchewan or something like that. What I want to know is, and I always ask everybody from Canada. I always ask this. My very favorite band. Do you listen to Big Wreck? Doesn't even know who Big Wreck is.
And I've heard of Big Wreck, but
you've heard of Big Wreck?
Yeah.
Ian Thornley is a Juno Award-winning singer-songwriter. His band Big Wreck Never.
Well, look,
I was just throwing it out there, little. Maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't.
My favorite things from Canada.
No, like the name sounds familiar, but I can't really put a finger on what it is. Like so, you know, I'm not saying that I don't know at all. It's not like what the hell are you talking about?
No, that's cool. I'm down.
Look, man.
Now you have homework.
Look, man. Whenever I hear anybody slam the Canadians, I'm always like, shut the fuck up. They gave us David Cronenberg.
Yeah,
right.
Do you remember when I pulled the list last time?
Toronto Argonauts, which gave us Doug Flutie and
comic book, movies, music. Dude, it's like almost half of your freaking library. It's Canadian.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I remember somebody telling me once that if they wanted to film a movie in Canada for the tax break, they actually had to throw litter in the streets to make it look like an American city.
There are so many movies, especially like direct-to-video action movies that were made in the 90s, where like Toronto is very obviously standing in for New York City.
Well, there was one with Perry King. I'm gonna find it real quick. You get it here.
The one you want to see is with Roddy Piper and Billy Blanks. I think called Back in Action.
Billy Blanks, the Tybo guy.
Yeah.
Tybo.
And they have a fight scene where he's doing his martial arts and Piper is doing his wrestling.
I gotta go all the way back to the 80s.
Like entertaining. That's the sort of shit you watch if you just like want like mindless entertaining nonsense.
Perry King.
Tim, how did the Kickstarter go in its entirety? Is that over? Is that's on demand? Is it?
How can it be in demand? It's Kickstarter.
It's Kickstarter, right? But there's like a version of that. Wait, that's right. Yeah, no, Kickstarter is always finite, isn't it?
It's finite, but they let you link to something after now. Like when you're done, you can like reshape your page. You go like, oh. If you want to follow up, you can go there. So you know, I for a while I did it to the Indiegogo until I closed it.
Yeah.
So the Kickstarter, it did well. Like I did over $2,000. I did like $2,000. I think. I have it in Canadian, so I know I made a bit over $2,000 Canadian.
Good.
Right.
Good.
And like you, like I didn't promote it really as that much neither.
Right.
I was sharing it on Twitter and Facebook, but that's it.
Yeah, so it's very obvious that that Kickstarter is better for people just stumbling across our shit. That's what
I have to say. I really don't like the fact that you have to go gather your information at the end.
Yes.
I hate Kickstarter.
It's so it's so freaking stupid.
It's ridiculous.
And you have to create a survey per tier.
Yes. Yeah, it's
No,
dude, it's so stupid.
At the end, I was like, I never want to do that again.
No. I much prefer IGG as a.
I went to try because
yeah.
Tucci convinced me with Scala and so that. They're like, oh, go try it. It's a different. Okay, I'll try it.
It's still worth doing. It's still worth doing. Right? Because you're also reaching another audience. So that's the other thing is.
I know that there's people I know that wouldn't back anything on Indiegogo because they only know Kickstarter and they only trust Kickstarter.
Well, I mean, most people don't even know what
Kickstarter is weird. You back it, and then you have to keep following up on stuff. And when I back something on Indiegogo, I click the button. It says I backed it, and then
there are all your backers.
And then later, the thing comes in the mail. Every time I do something like that on Kickstarter, I have to make sure that I find the follow-up email. And they're like, "Do you want to do this survey thing? And are you sure you want to back this?" I'm like.
But you want to add more stuff to it.
It's like Windows versus Apple.
And now don't forget you have to charge shipping because we didn't charge you the first time because we just wanted to convince you and sway you into buying it.
Oh, yeah. No,
Search and Destroy was the name of that movie in Niagara Falls. Perry King. It was in Canada, 1979.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's what I was watching that movie. My sister told me that. She goes, they have to throw trash on the ground because Canada is so clean. If they want to make it look like an American city, they have to the studio has to litter.
I believe that. I absolutely believe that. If you go to
even in what we consider a ghetto.
Yeah,
the ghettos are clean. There'd be a lot more ghetto violence, but everyone's too busy. They're picking up their trash. I started watching this. I went on a super spiral. Look at an IMDb spiral because I'm like, that's the guy from The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That's the guy from Deep Star 6.
Yes.
And then it was Deep Star 6. I worked in the movie theater.
Deep Star 6 was good.
I was working in the movie theater when that came out. Came out the same time Leviathan and The Abyss did. I'm like, Leviathan, which one was better? And I'm I had to keep rewinding this movie. I had to keep rewinding the homework, Brian. I had to keep rewinding the homework because I went off on my own thing, on my phone.
Right.
Again, with a battery case that is too thick to fit in your average, everyday car caddy thing that I paid $25 for. You know what I mean? Like the big doofus mounted it on the dashboard with the sticky shit and whatever. Put it in the exact position it's supposed to be. Try to put my phone with this big fat ass on it. Try to stick it in the thing.
For fuck's sake!
It's holding it on just with this part.
I'm doing an intervention. People, never watch movies on your phone. Never watch.
I wasn't trying to watch it on my phone.
It's not.
I was trying to research this movie.
Oh, okay.
I was researching this movie on my phone.
All right, you get a pass. I apologize.
Oh, this is a terrible phone. I've got glass.
That you would do that.
I've got this. Stop.
But if you want to know what this movie,
look at the glass on this is terrible. You should see the back of it. It's all what? It's terrible.
Jacked up. You need to get a new one.
I need to go to You Break We Fix or whatever it is they call it.
Right.
Yeah, this guy, the perv.
He's not a perv though.
They think he's a perv.
Well, yeah. Well, here, this pretty much this pretty much encapsulates what this movie is. There's something moving. This is the whole movie, by the way. I'm gonna have to.
I haven't seen it.
You're gonna make me not want to watch it. It's a guy with binoculars in a wheelchair.
It's
who likes to read.
Well, no, it's Rear Window with a Bigfoot monster.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Okay, I gotcha.
So if you liked Rear Window, and I love that movie.
Jimmy Stewart, Christopher Reeve.
No.
What was his name? What's his face from
the guy who's in the American version of Godzilla? It was Perry Mason. Why am I blanking on his name?
Shia LaBeouf?
No.
I mean, wasn't that the one with David Krause and
No. What, Rear Window?
That wasn't Rear Window. It was like Rear Window. It was
Suburbia.
Suburbia, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think I've ever watched a Shia LaBeouf movie.
I watched Constantine.
You didn't watch Transformers?
I
Constantine?
tried to. I paused it at Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
And then it stayed paused. And I never finished the movie.
But you did finish.
See? You Canadians, you always know how to.
We love word game.
Almost done.
Yeah, this is the part. This is almost exactly where I stopped. And then his asshole nurse that went into town for groceries finally shows up. Oh, yeah, right. Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, and also Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, he's kind of funny. Although the girl that I lived with up in Buffalo, her grandfather died because he was a smoker on oxygen. And
fuck.
The worst thing that
Oh, goddamn. That's horrible, dude.
I know. I didn't see it. It was just. And then 2 weeks later, his wife, her grandmother, passed away. I honestly, it was like one of those, like where the red fern grows. Those two creatures couldn't exist without each other.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like, you know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Fluffy and from Creepshow, the thing under the stairs.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So you meant the comedian.
Isn't that what they call it, Fluffy? They called it something cute. I remember they called it something cute.
Yes, I just I don't recall, but yeah, of course that was Tom Savini working from a design by the man Bernie Wrightson.
I remember being at South Hills Village Mall with my grandfather.
Yeah,
I was actually I did not live in Pittsburgh at the time. I was down here to visit.
Right.
And I stood in Walden Books and read that book from beginning to end, totally enthralled with the artwork, the story, everything was messed up. Little did I know that I was coming down with a fever.
Which book is this?
The Creepshow.
The
illustrated thing. It was just like in the bookstore.
Comic. Yeah, by Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah, and I'm reading it.
myself,
It's by Stephen King, and the whole thing with the roaches. Yeah, you have it on the shelf. Oh man, you're lucky man. But I
saw that movie 5 times when it was in a theater.
I used to watch, and my buddy had it on beta. If I came home with him from school, he knew that his next 2 hours was taken up by me watching that movie. Because I was saying before, like I grew up in a house that was steeped in the satanic panic. I had to sneak material into the house like I was a member of the French underground. It's amazing that I even know how to draw at all.
But I mean,
I was literally like, when you're an adult, and you're like, I don't feel so good, and then later I'm probably gonna feel like hammered shit.
Yeah.
I can tell that I'm coming down with something.
Yeah.
I was in the bookstore, clueless that I was actually feeling sick while I'm reading this book. And later,
so you thought it was the book, right?
I probably was. It could have been. Who knows? I mean, it was the mall. It was like it could have been the stress of just being outside, And then later, we're over at their house, and my grandmother goes, "Oh, Bill, he has a fever," and it was one of the weirdest fever dreams I've ever had in my life. There were roaches, and that thing, like. The last piece, the last piece of information that I had going into my brain was that thing before I went to bed with 104 fever.
That's fucked up.
I
That's really
know.
bad.
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh my god.
There's gonna be some crazy stuff coming out of that mind.
Right.
But hey, look, for before I have to go. It's like 1:30. I'm supposed to get up.
I did too. I gotta eat. I gotta eat something. But you were gonna say.
But no, there is. I'm sharing a screen here, and I want to see if hopefully this is the right one. My brother, I put this out. I actually put it out on Ethan's channel.
Okay. Yeah.
You know that's me.
Me. That's him. That's
me. That was going to show you something, but
I know. I realized, but then once I
that's
realized
really good though.
it was yours. I had
Are
to
you in?
get a
Are you in?
closer look.
Are you in Photoshop or Clip?
this is Clip Studio.
Oh, I need to get that color block dock down at the bottom there, like you.
I mean,
got.
really, Sim. Do you honestly think at this point I don't recognize your style like immediately? I enjoyed Tales from the Natverse so damn much, man. That was really good. I'm really looking forward to this. But I'm sorry, you were gonna say.
No, your perspective blast around in that panel that's a tool in Clip Studio, or did you use the perspective tool and draw all those lines yourself towards that vanishing point in the middle?
It's a mix of both.
So it's a blast behind your big guy there.
Because you can have the ruler where you just do it, and then you have like a little templates where it's already done, and then you just go in and fill it.
Right.
I get a really cool kind of Alien Legion vibe from this. That's a shocker.
I wonder. I'm trying not to show too much because the other side I can't show.
Okay.
Do you have a channel, Sim? I'm getting the feeling that you do, and I don't
it's
know it.
Sim Ink Slayer.
Maybe I may. Well, we'll find out.
I do doodle. I do that doodle and chill sometimes on Saturday. Now I'm going to be doing them on Friday morning as well. But I do Ink Slayer art show every Sunday around 7:15, 7:30.
Yeah, that's always fun. I'm definitely going to try and make a point to
doodle and chill. I try to do like quick fan art. Sometimes I try to have like guests over. Sometimes I go like I help promote like a campaign doing a fan art.
There it is, Sim Ink Slayer.
Yeah.
And you only have 391 subscribers.
Yep. I haven't streamed that much lately.
Yeah, I think I'm about like at 280.
I used to stream a lot, but I used to stream more on other people's channel because I used to have the approach of I'd rather be a co-host, and draw because I work all.
Have you ever considered doing a how to use Clip Studio, like a lesson stream?
I did, but there's so many.
Yeah.
How to use
I guess it would be like more benefiting me than it would be benefiting you because I'd be asking you. How do I do this? This thing I'm trying to do.
Dude, that's a good answer.
But you can do it.
Well, I know. It's just like it's easier to ask somebody who knows everything than it is to try to find the right way to ask the question that YouTube understands and then sift through 5 videos.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, I know I've always wanted to do a stream where we get a bunch of people together to give tips to people that are doing like their first convention. I've never done a convention.
I've never done that either. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know it's intimidating, and because I remember what that felt like. So I was thinking, like, if I could get a bunch of people, and we can like give you tips, so that it's not so fucking scary, and also hopefully you'll sell the most product.
Like the thing I was trying to tell you about
for doing other things, but not comics.
The thing I was trying to tell you about, like the thing you were asking for the the effect I was doing.
The blast, right?
Yeah, the thing is, you can select the thing. Like how you in real traditional art, you do like little layer of transparent plastic and stuff like that, right? But you can do the same thing with there. So I can do the entire blast, fill it with black, and then just without going out of anything.
Well, you can use a perspective grid on one layer that starts off black, and then
I don't use perspective grids.
Okay.
Like technically all my perspective are technically winged. Like I give myself like my perspective.
So you're doing that without the aid of a perspective group. You're just scratching from the middle out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the things that I'm using here around here to help with the bars, it's something that they have in Clip Studio when you want to do a panel that has shocks in it. You know, like a whole bunch of freaking line that does like a shock or something.
Yeah.
And that's what I put on it. So, and then I just start drawing over it.
Gotcha.
That's one of the things I need to zero in on, the different storytelling devices that are available and that don't have anything to do with the figure that you're drawing or the scene that it's in, but it's just like that effect.
There's a 3D animation studio. There's a 2D animation in that program that's pretty goddamn sweet. And they have 3D models for people. There's a 3D scene.
That part I've seen. I tried using that, but then I was like, it's going to take me too long to figure out how.
I just don't want to use it
to bend and
Isn't
twist
it
the
kind
way
of like
that I
paint
want
by
it to.
numbers?
No, I just don't want to use it because the thing is, one of the tricks that I'm happy that I'm pulling is that most people always go, it's digital.
Yes.
Like they're always not sure because that's why I do it that way. It's like I work my digital exactly the same way as I would work my traditional.
Right.
Like all my cross hatching is my own hand, right? Like I'm telling you, the only moment I use this, it's those type of blasts like that.
It's basically the same thing. Yeah. I mean, if I need to put what I've been doing is putting wood grain in different areas. Like basically making it in Photoshop, copying it, putting it on the floor in Clip Studio Paint, and then skewing it so that it looks like.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. He's giving
all
us.
Right, you guys are getting way too fucking technical.
Well, all right, we're
gonna peace out and channel a little bit backstage. Everybody,
but this is really important. This is my brother's channel. I don't mean to take over your show. This is one of the big reasons I wanted to.
No. That's.
This is like 37 seconds of he does. You know what kit bashing is?
Of course.
You do.
Yeah.
All right.
Kit bashing is what gave us every single spaceship and starfighter in Star Wars.
My brother and I used to do. And this is my twin brother in Atlanta.
Do you see my grandizer kit there?
The crazy shit.
Oh yeah.
In with Legos.
Sim is a big great.
But this dude,
fan.
This dude, he saves stuff from like the laser cutter and puts them in a big jar. They're called crumbs. He just calls them the little things that you can stick all over hopefully this is the right video, but I would really appreciate it if you guys got him over 99 subscribers.
Oh hell yeah.
Feds. I have I took some of this with a little bit of that and some of this, and surrounded the outer rim of the hole that I have placed these components into to make the tech.
You're getting some echo.
And we all.
Is that me?
I think so.
Usually, when you play a video, lately we're
streaming. Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Just mute yourself when start a video and mute yourself on StreamYard, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, and you got a wrench, right? Drop the link in the chat. Seriously, anybody can come on to pimp any of their shit on my channel anytime. It's all good. La 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 la.
I'm actually finishing.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I have placed these components into to make the tech pit, and we all know that the primer is going to make it pop. So when we get to that point, I will show you, and you will be happy, and we will all rejoice. Until then, I will bid you a fair adieu. Good night.
EVA with the dogs. this Hoover wind tunnel was in someone's recycling bin, so I decided to flip on the
With a
deck,
vacuum
bring
cleaner for crying
it
out
on
loud.
board, and salvage it for parts, especially the tank.
Does anything blow
But
up in
these
this?
pieces
Blow up or
proved to be a
burn?
little bit.
It's been a dick.
Not everything
Oh,
is
yeah.
horror, Brian.
What was that?
Said not everything is horror, Brian.
I know. I know there's science fiction and high fantasy too.
Yeah, whatever. We'll put it back together and make a spaceship out of it.
Looks like a
Oh,
shark.
cute pooch. They made like a phaser rifle out of the
Like a shark, and then that's the
Very
water.
does like this. Eyes right here.
So he made like a basically a phaser rifle out of parts from a vacuum.
Now you're
cleaner.
muted, ID.
He'll take that and turn it into a starship.
That's pretty badass.
No, like the last video that he did. One of the reasons why I'm like so adamant about this is because it takes a long time for him to put a video out. The editing, he goes and finds pieces of movie clips and all this esoteric crap to make it entertaining. And then he texts me later and goes, I don't know if these are any good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right.
like when one of his little videos comes out, I stop everything that I'm doing so that I can watch it. He does 3D modeling for a company that makes box displays for goldfish and other crap that goes on the end cap of a grocery store aisle,
Right.
you know, like
Right.
just for cardboard.
Right.
But when you see the latest video that he did, he goes through all this detail on 3D Studio Max and Blender just to make a part this big on his printer so that he can get this,
So like
Yep.
obsessive autistic detail.
so that he can put an old style McDonald's coffee stirrer in it, and so that this little paddle is sticking out because that's the piece of tech that's supposed to go there.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
James Cameron was doing the same shit. We
Yeah.
did a Galaxy of Terror one week,
Yeah.
and they're like the panels on the sides of the spaceship are like fucking styrofoam, like Big Mac
Yeah.
containers.
He has guitar strings hanging in loops from the bottom of this one because he's like, it just needs to have these octopus looking pieces of cable
Right.
tech hanging from the bottom, like it's something from Geedy Prime.
Right.
You know, he comes up with this stuff, and it killed me that he's like, I don't know about these videos. Seems like a lot of work, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, Patrick Thomas Parnell, is there anything that this person could do for you? Because if he's getting obsessive compulsive over
Yes.
one little piece,
Yeah.
on, you know what I mean, like, and
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
making like,
Well, that's the zone for him, obviously, right? Like
Right.
when you're an artist, we're never happier than when we're in the zone.
in the groove, exactly. Yeah, when you're in
Yeah.
the groove and like, oh man, nothing pisses you off more than when somebody goes, honey, oh, what?
Right.
I'm like, you know where I'm at. Where are you? In the groove. I'm in the groove, and it's not your groove.
I don't have that problem. Me, it's more Dad.
There's a
Yeah.
guy, I forget who it is. There's
Yeah.
a comic book writer who has the best setup ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a house, and in the backyard, he has a little like a little cabin. And what he does is he goes out to the little cabin, and that's where he works. And he tells his family, he's like, yo, unless somebody steps on a nail or gets bit by a
Rusty
rattlesnake,
nail, yeah.
yeah, unless somebody gets fucked up, do
Yeah.
not friggin' bother me. Do not.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from like, yes, I have a job and I have to be there I'm going to be getting up in 4 hours.
Oh, dude.
I
That's not
know.
good.
Whatever.
Especially-
But it's
especially
a
our
Friday. I can, it's a Friday. I can kind of mail it in. Okay. I'm not
I
worried
hear
about
that. I hear that. Here, let's go off air.
Bye,
Everybody,
everyone.
peace and love.
Don't forget to sub, like, and share.
And
Yeah,
also,
said Dave.